you're highly recruited out of high school. What made you choose going to Duke of, all schools?
Yeah, so they were kind of like a dark horse as far as my recruiting goes. So a lot of the schools I was looking at, just being in Columbus, Ohio, were Big Ten. At the time, it was Big East and MAC schools. So I was, visiting Ohio State, Michigan,
Right.
Michigan State, Cincinnati, Ball State, and just kind of, I was getting letters from Illinois, Penn State, all those different teams. And
Hmm.
so I wasn't really looking in North Carolina or anything like that. And so Matt Luke at the time, who was the offensive line coach there, showed up to one of my morning workouts at high school, and he's like, "Hey, I would love to invite you down to a camp. I think you would do really well. The coaches want to see how you move, how you look in person, and just like kind of get to know you." I was like, "All right, cool." I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I hated Duke in high school, and it was just like I think for a lot of people who hate Duke, it's just kind of everyone hates them because I hated them because everyone else did, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they wanted everything and this and that. So I was like, oh, okay, like, I've never been to Duke. I mean, it seems kind of like a cool setup. And as soon as I got down there, got to see the campus, got to meet the head coach, David Cutcliffe, got to meet all the rest of the guys and just how much they love Duke. I immediately fell in love with the campus. So they offered me right after that, after their camp. And so I was telling my dad, like, oh, I'm ready to commit right now. He's like, all right, let's just like, sleep on it for 24, 48 hours and then
Yeah.
we'll think about it. But yeah, I mean, it was basically Matt Luke just seeing me on my highlight film on a website, and then he liked it, came and saw me, and invited me down to a camp.
Cool. So back when you were being recruited, so I actually just did a podcast with another high school recruiter that helps kids get into different colleges, and he said the best tools are the number one is going to be Twitter and obviously Huddle. So what was it like for you? What was the main platform that you were using for helping your recruitment?
Yeah, it's a lot different now. So there was
Yeah.
no, social media or anything like that. And the big um, scouting website in Ohio was scoutingohio.com. And so that's where all the top guys in the state like put their highlight films. You try to get like the most views,
Hmm.
and you were trying to do, put out the most videos and just keep updating as much as you can. And Rivals was really big at the time as well. So those were like the two like main ways. And then Huddle was just starting when I was in high school, so it wasn't as big as it is now. So
Right.
yeah, and then I actually wrote a few like handwritten notes to teams and burned my highlight tape onto DVD discs and sent them out. And so that was another way to do it too.
Yeah. It's actually like, so when I was looking at recruitment back in 2015, it's pretty easy now where you literally just write up like a cover letter for an email, throw your Huddle link in the email, and you could just like find every school, blast it off to recruitment. And the process is like way more seamless now, or even just posting it on Twitter and people
Right.
can find you. But yeah, my coaches have told me about back when they played, how they had to like edit together their own highlight tapes by like cutting the VCR clips together and taping it and doing all that kind of stuff, trying to send it out, and just, how far that's actually come is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of insane how far it's come because in college, even in college, it was still like the whole social media, like putting your highlight tapes on Twitter and Instagram, all this
Mhm.
stuff was still relatively new. Like people still weren't doing that. It was kind of around that like 2015 when like that surge like really
Yeah.
happened. So it's definitely crazy to see how recruiting has changed and how kids are communicating with schools on social media. So it's cool to see.
Hmm. So then how did you enjoy, your time at Duke? What was the experience like?
Yeah, it was awesome. So it was kind of, I guess, the quote unquote like golden era of Duke football. So my true freshman year in 2011, we went 3-9, and so that was really tough because heading into Duke, I had a lot of just positive thoughts as far as like, okay, like they're building an indoor practice facility, we're getting all this new stuff, and we ended up doing bad my freshman year. And that was tough. Just like I've never been on a team that was like, I guess, that poorly performing, but I just saw how hard guys were working, and I think we all knew that we were really close to being a really good team. And so then in 2012, we went to our first bowl game, lost to Cincinnati in like a heartbreaker against like Travis Kelce and those guys. And then 2013 was kind of like the eye-opening, kind of like huge marketing for Duke football, because that year we won the ACC Coastal. We went to the ACC championship game and played against Florida State. And then we went and played in the Chick-fil-A Bowl against Texas A&M. And so that bowl game was, at that time, the highest viewership of any non-BCS bowl game in the history of ESPN. So because it was, Johnny Manziel and Mike Evans on Texas A&M, and, they were lighting the world on fire. So that was kind of like the coming out party for Duke football, and people saw it on a national scale. And then 2014 went to the Sun Bowl, lost in a dramatic way. And then finally 2015 won the Pinstripe Bowl in a dramatic way. So, it was an awesome time just to be part of that. We had a really great offensive line those 4 or 5 years. I think, Laken Tomlinson ended up being a first-round pick for the Detroit Lions, who's now playing for the 49ers. You have me with the Ravens, Lucas Patrick with the Green Bay Packers, and then Jacoby Cofield in the CFL with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So we had a really good group of guys, and it was just a lot of fun.